wouldn't it be good to make slow money that doesn't go away and that doesn't disappear? And so I
Yeah.
think that's the thing with Bitcoin. Some people, it's funny, you can say, oh, it's only going to a million. There's not a lot of room to grow. That's insane. You know, um, if you
Yeah.
change your life, if you're okay with saving and you're okay with taking 2, 4 years to grow your savings, Bitcoin is a great opportunity. And I think we're going to see it gobble up more and more of these global currencies. And the people who are looking for the fast buck, and I mean really fast, like day trade fast, I think some of them are gonna they're
Yeah.
ended up missing out. And you see crypto Twitter now, Bitcoin's up at 120,000. Crypto Twitter's like, I don't feel that good until they see alts. So I think that was a big lesson for me in this space is, the gambling, a lot of people show up because that's what they're interested in, but you stick around because you realize, well, yeah, I do want my retirement fund, my safety, my savings account, and that's what Bitcoin is.
Yeah, it's almost like Bitcoin's kind of become a victim of its past successes a little
That's
bit.
exactly
Initially, it
right.
was
Yeah,
associated with those meteoric rises that we now see in these, shit coins everywhere. But it's like
exactly.
now it's the most, it's really actually a very conservative play within the space, but certainly a lot
Yes.
better than putting your money in the S&P and getting 7 to 11% over a year, where it takes 7 years for it to double,
Exactly. No,
right?
no, well put. Yeah, it's like Bitcoin is about fighting the money printer, but then the invention of Bitcoin led to more money printers. And so it's just a funny trade-off. And I think the smart money that will play in crypto and that will trade and do things like that, they're going to try to earn elsewhere and then they save in Bitcoin. Smart TradFi
Yeah.
puts their money into Bitcoin. So I think if you're interested in getting into the space, but you maybe don't think you have an edge over the millions of other people trying to make a quick buck, and hence you probably don't, try something like Lolly. Try something where it's like, okay, I've earned 10, 20, 30, a few $100s here. And in a few years, that's gone up way faster than my stock portfolio. If I have Bitcoin in one pocket and USD in another, which one do I want to get out? And I'm going to get out the USD. I'm going to throw
Right.
it at people because I don't want them to touch my Bitcoin. And so I had that object lesson as my career because I helped a whole bunch of people spend their Bitcoin. And then we all watched the number go up. And it's like, well, I hope you replaced what you spent. So I think the way that I
Yeah.
look at it is, well, what if we could replace the US dollar with something backed by Bitcoin? And that's where I see Mezzo coming in. Like, let's have these stable coins that are backed by Bitcoin. They're Bitcoin banks. You can get loans against your Bitcoin. So you're avoiding taxes. But really, you're avoiding making a huge financial mistake, which is having less Bitcoin than you should have.
Yeah, amazing. And what I love about having someone like you on the show, Matt, is as a serial entrepreneur and founder, I'm always interested in how you go about selecting ideas to actually run with. I'm sure you're pitch
Yeah.
stuff all the time. Like, what
Yeah.
is your North Star or like gut check for when you're deciding what's actually worth building?
So I wish I could say I was better than like, would I use it? And I've said no to some really great products that have done very well because I wasn't the user. Um, but a lot of this comes down to me, for Mezzo, I tried to finance my home with Bitcoin 3 different times.
Oh,
First
wow.
time I tried was 2018, and the lender was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I love Bitcoin. Come on in." Step to my office, closes the door, and they're like, "Okay, sell your Bitcoin and come back in 30 days. I won't tell anyone. We won't talk about fluff." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! This sounds sketchy." And it's like, well, yeah, it was sketchy. It was like some sort of like scheme. It's like, okay, that's weird. That's not what I meant. I meant I have hard money. Shouldn't I get a better rate? Shouldn't I be able to use this collateral? So then we go on,
Yeah.
and in 2020, I tried to do the same thing. And we had launched TBTC, so we had launched a product that I thought could help. Wasn't enough liquidity. It was still too early. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this again. So I come back in 2024, and now I take my Bitcoin, I put it in TBTC, I borrow USDC against it, I put half the house like in cash down. So that's pretty cool. I didn't have to ask
Yeah.
anyone. I didn't have to explain it to anyone. But the one thing that was missing is my rate. So now my rate fluctuates based on how long people want to be, because this is how DeFi works, right? So like Bitcoiners usually don't know a
Yeah.
lot about like raw DeFi stuff. They're not often on Ethereum and Solana, but the ones that are know, well, your rate will completely change based on if other people are trading and whatever their stuff is. So the idea with Mezzo is, well, can we give people fixed predictable rates? And that's what it does. So right now we have a 1% like introductory rate on Mezzo where it's a fixed rate open term. And so I'm getting ready to refinance my house right now. And yeah, so I think that's kind of how I choose. Like, could I see myself using that? Do I get excited about it? And then as I'm getting older, I guess the next way I'm looking at things is like, would my children use that? Because that's starting to be a helpful way to look at new products as well. Like, yeah, they're not
I
going to
think that's a
finance their
great way
house,
to
but
think about it,
like
though.
they like video games a lot. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, once the new GTA 6 finally comes out and they start integrating crypto payments in there, which it sounds like might happen, it's game over and everybody's going to be on
listen,
board. I don't think people
listen,
realize how big that's going to be for it.
that is going to be huge. But speaking of GTA 6, my kids think like around 6. We had a birthday party recently where we were like, oh, guys, don't worry. It's only going to be e-games. Somebody pulls up Grand Theft Auto. I had to dive across the room to like, no, 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 please, God, don't. I don't want to have all the parents like hate me forever. So yeah, they're not quite to GTA age, but soon.
don't, don't let that lady with the short skirt in your car. You don't want to know what happens
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to learn, like, just
Too
from the
funny.
title screen, you're going to learn so much, but I can't, not on my watch.
Oh yeah, you got to play that after the kiddos go to bed. But my God,
Yep,
is that a
yep,
great
yep.
franchise? Oh, I grew up on that stuff. Now
No, it's
let's
crazy.
get
It's good.
back to the. It's so good. Another question I have for you, Matt, is with all of these products or projects that you have at Thesis, Meso, TBTC, like,
Yep.
which one do you think is going to be the next breakout? Do you have a reasoning for that? Like, what are you most excited about right now?
Yeah. Yeah, so funny. That's a funny question, right? Because on the one hand, like, which of your kids is your favorite? So like obviously, oh, I love them all equally is one answer, which is true. But the way that I'm looking at this at Thesis is I want to build toward the future that I see. And mostly we're application builders. We've done some infrastructure and we've done some applications, but we don't usually launch a chain. We don't usually launch stuff like that. And so the reason I'm excited about Mezzo is because now I can be an application builder building toward the future, which I think is right in a bigger way, which is never spend your Bitcoin. And I think a lot of the stuff that we wanted to build, it's like, okay, but will people do that with their Bitcoin? No, no one wants to spend
Right.
it. No. So I think Mezzo for us unlocks everything else we want to build, right? It's like, so let's start with stuff that's simple. People can finance their homes against their Bitcoin. Fantastic. I mean, I call that simple. I know a lot of people think that's like big fancy stuff in TradFi, but it's not. It's not with DeFi. It's very straightforward. So I think Mezzo is going to be the thing. But then when I look at like what would I get excited about as a consumer, I mean, the next version of Lolly is going to be pretty fire. And I think for someone who's outside of Bitcoin, it feels really good for me to build stuff to bring people in. So I think economically, I think Mezzo is going to be the bigger impact because it's helping people
Yeah.
who want to buy homes and who want to have families. But I just love to see these folks joining crypto who thought, well, it's too expensive. I'm not early enough, and I love helping them with that.